everybody. My name is Pat McCann with Noble Capital Markets. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Heidi Chow and Peter Lin with Snail Games. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll have some time for some Q&A at the end. So with that, go ahead, Heidi.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Snail Inc. Investor Conference presentation. My name is Heidi Chow, CFO of the company. I've started to work with the company since 2015 as an external consultant, and I formally joined Snail in September of 2020 as the CFO. I have more than 18 years of accounting and finance experience. With you today is also our senior manager from FP&A department, Peter Lin. Peter is a chartered financial analyst with more than 5 years in capital market and 5 years at PlayStation. Now, let's dive into the detail of Snail Inc. So who is Snail? What do we do? Snail is a publicly traded company on NASDAQ with ticker SNAL since November 2022. Born to Dream has always been our slogan, a dream to provide high-quality interactive entertainment experience to our global audiences. We started Snail Game back in 2009. Today, we are a global game developer and a publisher with more than 15 years of track record. And more importantly, we're the leader of the sandbox survival genre with ARK. So what have we done over the past 15 years? We leverage our MMO expertise to become one of the leaders in the sandbox survival genre. Snail Game USA was incorporated in 2009 and published Age of Wushu, Tai Chi Panda in the US. In 2015, ARK Survival Evolved was early release, and Snail Game USA licensed the game from 2016. Ever since, we have the sandbox survival leader. Throughout the years, we published Dark and Light, Atlas, a parrot game, Fear the Night, PixARK, Outlaws, and also in late 2023, we published the remake of original ARK called ARK Survival Ascended. Our company is led by our founder, chairman of the board, co-CEO, and chief strategy officer, Mr. Hai Shi. Mr. Shi has more than 20 years of experience in gaming industry, and he founded Pseudo Snail in the year of 2000. Also, we have Tony Tan, who is our co-CEO and brings us more than 15 years of experience in capital markets. He holds various senior positions in investment banks, equity research firms, and also myself, Heidi Chow, as the CFO. 2024 was definitely a great harvesting year for us, which later on, Peter will show you guys the quarter-over-quarter growth during 2024. We generated net revenue of $85 million and sold 4.7 million units. As you can see, most of our revenue from the platform provider are from the US and delivered digitally, which spread across between PC and consoles. What you are seeing here is the fabric of our success. As mentioned previously, we are one of the leading gaming companies in the sandbox survival genre with more than 98 million installs, highly engaged user over the past 10 years, which we'll go over later more in detail. We own a transmedia IP that cross gaming and TV. We publish our games across major platforms like Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Epic Game Store, iOS, Android, and Paramount Plus for our animated series. We also have a strong executive team leader with a clear strategic and tactical plan to profitably expansion. And now, I would like to pass on to Peter to go over some of the ARK franchise and the analytic insights.
Great. Thank you so much, Heidi, for providing the overview. Before we dive into our analytics, I want to take a step back and look at the gaming market. Now, Newzoo expects the industry to generate close to $200 billion in revenue by 2027, reaching about 4 billion players. Now, to put that into perspective, that's half of the world's population. If you look at the person sitting to your left or right, one of them will be playing games. That said, our Temple IP art franchise has amassed over 98 million installs, despite that being a large install. The gaming market really provides further headroom for us to grow into. We have strong conviction and we firmly believe that Snail is well positioned to do just that. Now, we have mentioned ARK several times now, all right, but what is ARK? So let me paint a picture for you. Imagine waking up on a prehistoric island with nothing but your bare hands. You have to gather resources, you have to build weapons to defend yourself, you have to build lodging for you to live in, you need to hunt, you need to tame dinosaurs, you can form tribes to defend yourself and your base and battle against others. So here's a 30-second glimpse into the world of ARK. Now, I hope that 30-second trailer for ARK Survival Extended ASA provided a glimpse of what ARK really is about. And as an ARK player myself, this trailer never gets old. Now, as previously mentioned, ARK Survival Evolved, aka ASE, was released back in 2015, and that's over 10 years ago. ASE truly carries a set of unique gameplay features. It's open world, survival, you build, and you battle. And a combination of these unique gameplay features really enables the many hours of replayability for our players. Now, over the 10 years, the success of ARK release has resulted in creation of many other survival games. And to the right there are a few of our notable peers. So let's take a closer look at ARK franchise over the years. I want to highlight two perspectives for you here. One, we have close to $1 billion in gross revenue. And two, we have a large install base contributing to 4 billion playtime hours and reaching the height of 1.1 million peak daily active users. Now, to further understand our users and their engagement, we took a deeper dive into their playtime and behavior. On the left there, what you're seeing is that of all our ARK player base, 42% of them are highly engaged. And we define that by any players with 20+ hours of playtime. These folks there play on average 383 hours over the lifetime of the game. Now, to put things into perspective of what that 383 hours playtime really means, is that if you think of Ubisoft's AAA game release that was released recently, Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? An open world RPG game. The main story is about 32 hours to play through, and to get to 100% completion, it takes about 90 hours. Our highly engaged users spend 4 times that amount on the game. And to the right there, you will see the daily active users and the concurrent users. Now, concurrent users are users that play at the same time. And the most important takeaway from the right chart there is that both metrics are very consistent over time, year after year, over the past 10 years. This engagement behavior truly speaks to how fun the game really is and that unique combination of game feature that enables it. Now, that fun really translates to healthy monetization for us. On the left is the product roadmap since 2015. We released ASE and 5 DLCs thereafter. In 2023, we released the ASA remake of the original ARK game. 2024, we released ARK Mobile along with the animated series. From a gaming perspective, we are seeing a 53 DLC conversion among our paying user base. What that really means for us is that we want to carry this momentum forward And the way to do that is by offering more variety of DLCs with frequent releases. Historically, we have offered full-size DLC expansions. So DLCs, you think of it as an expansion to the game. But now we are broadening that DLC pipeline, not only including the full-size DLCs, but also the bite-sized DLCs. So you may ask, why bite-size, right? Well, bite-sized DLCs require shorter development cycle, which enables frequent releases. So what that really means is lower development costs and higher monetization. Lastly, the next logical step is to build on that success is the sequel expansion in Art2. So far, we've talked about ARC's 1 billion gross revenue, right, which is a significant revenue achievement. We've talked about the healthy DLC conversion. We talked about a large install base and high consistent engagement. And I want to wrap all of that up with this quarterly revenue chart here. In Q4 of 2023, in Q2 of 2024, Q4 of 2024, and Q1 2025, we all had a launch of ASA IP. Whether it's a base game or DLC, what you're seeing here is that the quarterly revenue has improved quarter over quarter each time we have those art releases. With that, I'll pass it back to Heidi to go over our growth strategies.
Thank you, Peter. So how do we grow? We define our strategy into 3 pillars. First is feel what we're good at. In game expansion, keep building on the existing IPs, new DLC, and license new IPs. Explore into different genres. Diversify our gaming portfolio. Secondly, step into the TV and film expansion. Scale into TV and film to expand our revenue streams. And third pillar is via profit expansion. Improve our profitability with strategic cost control. So now let's take a look at how do we build on existing IPs and diversify our gaming portfolio. We're excited to share that we have a robust release slate ahead, drawing from both our internal teams and value external partners. On the top are the major releases from our internal studios. As you can see, we have 2 major art DLC releasing in 2025, 2 new IPs releasing in 2026. On the bottom, are games that we are acquired through licensing agreement with our gaming partners. And the cost varies, and once the game is launched, we have a revenue sharing. We're anticipated to release 9 games in 2025, and here are some of the notable ones. Robots at Midnight, Echoes of Elysium, and Honeycomb. As you saw on the previous slide, we have several exciting releases coming from our internal studios. To deliver the high-quality entertainment our users expect, we have been ramping up our development capacity. Our presence in the EU continues to grow, driven by a strong talent pool and favorable cost dynamics. In addition, we're leveraging third-party development teams through strategic partnership to further support our ambitious pipeline. Now, let's talk about Pillar 2, expanding into TV and film. ARC is not just a game anymore. It's turning into a full-on transmedia franchise. We're going beyond traditional gaming and making a bigger impact across different industries. We already released part 1 of ARC animated series on Paramount+, and part 2 is coming later on this year. We're keeping the momentum going in film and TV by tapping into the short drama space, a fast-growing market that is really starting to take off. These short drama apps serve up bite-sized, serialized stories, usually in 1 to 2 minute episodes. It's a trend that took off around 2022, with China and the US leading the market. In 2024 alone, the space pulled in around $7.6 billion and saw about 320 million app downloads globally. We want to be early movers here because it lines up perfectly with how Gen Z consumes content. It's quick, vertical, and super engaging. And that's why we also launched our short video app called Salty TV. Salty TV offers a mix of content we produce ourselves and some that we license, so we can keep the quality high while managing costs smartly. It makes money through in-app currency, and that's pretty standard nowadays from our mobile apps. We've also signed an MOU with Mega Matrix to team up on the content, including co-developing 10 or more short drama together. A lot of exciting things ahead of us for Salty TV. All right, let's move to pillar 3, profit expansion. We run the company with a lean, efficient setup, keeping things tight on the cost side. Since Q1 of 2024, we've been putting more focus into our own internal R&D, especially around game development. We're really leaning on the experience and leadership of our gaming team to build titles that can drive strong revenue growth. To stay profitable, we're smart about it. We outsource some of the development work so we don't overbuild our internal team. Plus, we keep a close eye on R&D and marketing needs to make sure they stay aligned with our game development plans. It's all about staying focused and efficient while we grow. Now, from a revenue standpoint, when we talk about profit expansion, our big goal is to take the art franchise from just being a transmedia IP and turn it into a full-blown pop culture brand. We really believe R2 is the key to making that happen. With R2, we're blending the open world survival gameplay fans already love from ASE and ASA. But this time we're layering into a rich, story-driven narrative. That makes it going to help us reach way beyond just survival fans. So think of like this. We're aiming to bring in players who love cinematic, story-heavy games like The Last of Us, God of War, or Red Dead Redemption. Those games don't usually have a lot of replayability, but they draw a huge audiences. And with this new gameplay approach, we're confident that art can go from being just a game or a franchise to something much bigger, something that crosses into film, TV, music, merch, and really becomes part of the pop culture conversation. And now, I would like to bring you back to refresh our key investment highlights. A leading gaming company for survival genre, sustainable revenue growth, more opportunities to expand beyond gaming, improve profitability, and all of these led by seasoned executive team members. And this concludes our presentation for today, and we're now open for Q&A.
Thank you, Heidi. Our first question has to do with it being the 10th anniversary of Ark Survival Evolved, the original Ark release. Are there any exciting plans that the company has that revolve around that major milestone for the company?
Yes, thank you, Patrick. So yes, June is gonna be a 10-year anniversary for Ark, and we wanted to let the art fans know that, we're celebrating with them. We're as excited. So during the month of June, not only that, we are attending a conference that is hosted by IGN conference in LA. As this weekend. So anyone that's in the LA area, you're welcome to go stop by our booth. We do have a live event there as well. On top of that, we actually do have a pre-sale for our ASA game. We are also planning to release our Aquatica DLCs. And not only that, during the month of June, we also planning to release Robots at Midnight as well. So a lot of new things that's happening during the month of June, and especially for the marketing team that wanted to celebrate with the art fans, because playing the game for almost 10 years is not easy, and being a loyal fans for 10 years.
Excellent. And then another question had to do with the short film, kind of the company getting into other areas of entertainment with the short film, with the animated series. Could you maybe touch on what the purpose of that is? What's the thought process behind going beyond just games?
Yes. So we see the market for short film. We see that as presented earlier, short video is a giant market, and is we see a lot of audiences that a user base or a viewer base out there, and being for almost 720 billion that was being capture over the past few years. So we wanted to tap into this market as well and further diversify our company, not just on the gaming side, but also into the films and also short video. Short video is something that, the production is not as long as a development of a game. Short video production varies the time. It could be shortened by a few weeks to a few months. But once a short video is only 1 to 2 minutes, the consumption of a viewer's time is also less than people involved into playing games as well. And also the short video is the total number of episodes, it also varies. It could be 50 episodes to 70, 80, 90 episodes. So we see that this market is humongous, and we see a lot of growth potential into that market. So that's why we want to tap into the market as early as possible.
Great. And then continuing to speak about diversifying revenues, you mentioned diversifying the gaming titles as well outside of ARC, which has historically accounted for the lion's share of revenue for the company. Could you talk about what are the opportunities for gaming revenue outside of ARC with some of the launches you've had, or maybe upcoming launches as well, and how meaningful do you think revenue could become from gaming titles that are outside of the ARC franchise?
Thank you, Patrick. I'll let Peter to address this question and have yeah.
Great. Thanks, Patrick, for the question. That's a very good question there. We do recognize that ARC, as a franchise, do bring in the majority of the revenue here. And that's one of the main reasons why our leader and the gaming leadership at Snail decided to expand beyond that in terms of genre expansion. Robots at Midnight, Echoes Elysium, and Honeycomb are the notable 3 that we're releasing this year, with a total of 9 releases in 2025. Now, these games aren't your typical survival games, right? These are the action RPGs. These are a slight take of survival, but not quite survival, right? And we do think that with these games here, with the artistic style and the gameplay, which has been vetted by our internal development team and QA folks, that these can bring in meaningful revenue to further diversify that revenue stream. And as Heidi mentioned earlier, Salty TV is another avenue as well in terms of revenue diversification, and that would definitely help in our long-term profitability expansion.
Excellent. And I think we might have time for another question or two. I guess piggybacking on the last question with regard to revenue diversification, it would seem that diversifying revenues and new projects could come with certain additional costs and so forth. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about margins and how you maintain cost efficiency while expanding titles and getting into other forms of media and so forth. How should investors look at margins and your ability to keep cost at a healthy level?
Thank you, Patrick. Good question. And for a game development, it is a long process to develop a game. and involve a lot of resources as well in terms of engines, in terms of people, and in terms of engineers. So what we have been doing is not just internally developing the game, we do have a group of internal talent people that are currently working on developing the game. But also, we see the opportunities. We see the people in Yale. We have a subsidiary that's in Poland, and we're currently expanding that subsidiary as well by recruiting more talented people. And the costs varies from the US as well, but we see the quality of the work. And other than that, we're expanding our company by licensing more games from external studio, from a development studio. Basically, is we will be pre-funded the game development cost, and once the game is launched, and we will be doing a revenue sharing when the game is started selling. That that everyone will be generating profit, and then we'll share the revenue with the development team.
Excellent. And then finally, what are the milestones or the areas of execution that investors should be looking for the balance of 2025 in terms of launches and so forth? And what should investors look at to see that to gauge the company's success here in the near term for the balance of the year?
Thank you, Patrick. So for 2025, we mentioned multiple times that there are 3 notable games that will be launched in 2025. Robots at Midnight will be this month, and then we have 2 other games, Echoes of Elysium, Honeycomb will be launching this year. On top of that, we actually have a full expansion pack from ASA that we're doing a pre-sale this month, and then it will be launched in fourth quarter of this year. And so we see that, as we presented earlier, every time when we have a new launch, whether it's a game that will launch, a brand new IP that will launch, or if it's a expansion pack or DLC or a map, we see a significant growth in that quarter. Robots at Midnight is being this month, and then Echoes of Elysium, Honeycomb, second half of the year, and then with the Lost Colony that will be on the fourth quarter as well. So we're definitely seeing a lot of growth potentials for our upcoming month.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you, Heidi, and you, Peter, for being here. We really appreciate that. And thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.